Hello, good day, sir. I am Annabel Ignacio. So, today I'm gonna share to you my learnings about this subject. This subject, which is the fields of social work, is very interesting to study and apply our deepened understanding to it in order to become a competent social worker someday. I actually learned a lot from this subject that can help me to improve my skills as a social work student, that I may apply this knowledge and skills to real life situations. To start with the topic, the social work profession, based on the book, I found out that the social work profession has a law that we must be followed and implement. This is what we call the Social Work Law or the Republic Act number 4373. This is the act that regulates the practice and the operation of social work agencies in the Philippines and for other purposes. It implies that becoming a registered social worker is not too easy to achieve. But then, all we need to do is to finish our bachelor's degree first and follow some of the requirements to be qualified to take the board examination exclusively for social work. In addition to this, it gives us self-awareness and responsibilities for our own good. On the other hand, the social work profession has different definitions but has the same goal, and that is to improve well-being and assist in meeting the needs of all people, with a special focus on the disadvantaged, oppressed, and poor. Mostly, one of the things that I have learned in this topic is that social work profession is not just a profession, because it is a systematic method of helping people. This is the study that needs to use systematic methods and other theories. Regarding in Module 2, the topic is all about the attributes of a profession. As I have read in the book about the social work law, it's already stated the different definitions of social work profession in Section 1. So that I have an initial idea from it that social work profession takes more than a law to establish a profession. The said profession has distinguished 5 attributes. First is the systematic body of theory. It is the skills that supposedly supported by knowledge from many different sources. These knowledge are classified into 3: the tested knowledge, hypothetical knowledge, and assumptive knowledge or practice wisdom. Second, the professional authority. In helping relationship, the judgment of the social worker according to the client's problem that needs to solve are respected and accepted by the client. Third, community sanction. This is the profession's authority that gives some power and privileges in some training centers, the schools, that in relations to the social work profession. Fourth, regulative code of ethics. Basically, social work profession has also a code of ethics that we must follow, even in written and unwritten codes. In written, the code is stated in the social work law. For example, all successful examiners are required to take professional oath before to take a board exam prior to entering the practice of social work in the Philippines. While in unwritten codes, the social worker needs to apply a common sense, because there's no need to write these codes in the law. Last, professional culture. Social work profession has also values, norms, and symbols. However, based on the book, I realized that these 5 attributes of a profession is necessary and essential in pursuing this profession. It is necessary to understand, to have a sense of professionalism, not only for our personal development but for the good of others. When it comes in Module 3, the topic is all about micro and macro areas of practice. Based on the book, I learned and I became familiar on the differences between these 3 levels, which is the micro, macro, and meso practice. As I observed, it is not too easy to identify the differences between them. But in order to understand it well, we should always remember that micro practice is working with individuals, families, and or groups through face-to-face helping engagement, while in macro practice is working with agencies, organizations, and communities, and meso practice is working in other smaller groups. In Module 4, the topic is all about social work, philosophy, and values. I enjoy this topic a lot because it's quite interesting to learn more about social work values. In this topic, I learned that every one of us has an inherent worth and dignity that we should be valued and treasure in our life. In fact, our worth and dignity as a person is vital to know our true potential in order to have a meaningful life. However, the social worker must be responsible and cared for and respect regardless of the human condition. In Module 5, it is all about also the social work values. Through this lesson, I learned the true definition of values as a worth, importance of a person, or usefulness of something. We all know that every one of us has established our principles in life that will greatly influence our values, and values greatly influence the people. In addition to this, one of the social work values that we still practice until today is our Filipino cultural values. These cultural Filipino values includes smooth interpersonal relations, emotional closeness and security in a family, or for short, close family ties, and authority values, personalism, utang na loob, and patient suffering and endurance. As a Filipino citizen, we must be aware and responsible in practicing these values to avoid misunderstanding or any negative feedback about our Filipino culture. In Module 6, it's all about self-fulfillment and self-realization of each person that social worker must pay on attention to facilitate every individual. In this module, I learned that self-fulfillment and self-realization is vital in every one of us in our daily life, because of the fact that this is the key for us to achieve a meaningful life and to be able to cope with the things that are beyond to our abilities. In addition to this, if we are able to develop self-fulfillment, I can say that we are in a stage of our life of being successful, and basically we are growing as a person. Lastly, it is necessary for me as a social work student to know the different fields of social work. Based on the book of Thelma Lee Mendoza, the author, I have learned that there are 12 different fields of social work. These different fields of social work includes first the child welfare. In this field of social work, in child welfare, the social work would be working with children who need protection against conditions that violates their rights as human being or prevent them from enjoying their rights to survival and development. Second, in family welfare, it is the field of social work is concerned with the improvement strengthening and support of the family in meeting its own needs. Third, health. Social work practice in the field of health in the country is concentrated in hospitals, public or private, which provide and service to patients whose emotional and social situations directly or indirectly cause, maintain, or aggravate their illness. In the field of correction, it is defined as the administration of penalty in such a way that the offender is corrected. That is, his current behavior is kept within acceptable limits at the same time as general life adjustment is modified. In the field of school, there are also referred to as pupil personnel services or school guidance services. In the field of special groups, these persons includes drug dependents, women in special difficulties circumstances, released prisoners and patients of psychiatric institution, older persons, and persons with disabilities. In the field of community welfare, it is a field of social work practice encompasses a variety of programs and services which have to their main goal the well-being of entire communities. Another field of social work is the field of cultural communities. The social work practice with cultural communities is a growing field, enhanced by the increasing number of students from different cultural communities who are now pursuing formal education in social work. In the field of industry and labor, the social work provides workers with more employment benefits and other services for their overall welfare as well as the welfare of their families. Education and training can be considered as a field of social work practice since it involves the transfer of social work knowledge and skills. An emerging field of social work for Filipino social worker is the field of international social welfare. Lastly, social planning. Planning is a social work was used originally to refer to a process of social worker and as part of their problem-solving activities with particularly in clients. Not only Department of Social Welfare and Development or DSWD agency, but there are so many private and public agencies or organizations that operates with the same goal of helping those people in needs. I realized that the social work profession has a large scope of work and contributes significantly to the development and progress of our country. Generally, as a social worker, you may change the world. No person at a time by assisting people in escaping poverty, finding work, or recovering from addiction. And also, you can find opportunities for employment. Social worker can work in a variety of industries and their abilities are in high demand in everywhere. And that's all. Thank you.